A lot of things have happened and are still happening right now in the country, ranging from politics, religion, health, and human interest issues, particularly now that the general elections are near. The politics is getting heated up. People are clamoring for a change in the narrative. This is Week in Review. My name is Priska Wankwo. Top on our events menu for the week, INEC extends collection of permanent voter cards, PVCs. Finally, ASU suspends strike after 3 months face-off with the federal government. Anambra State gets a new commissioner of police. We'll take a short break. When we come back, the program continues. Welcome back. This is still Week in Review on ABS Television. Yes, this week kicked off with the inauguration of new boards for both Anambra State Universal Basic Education and Post-Primary School Service Commission by Governor Willie Obiano. Under the new boards, Mr. Ejike Ubaja will serve as the chairman of Anambra State Universal Basic Education Board, while Mrs. Ifoma Okaro will serve as the chairman of the Post-Primary School Service Commission. Yes. Also, on Monday, the Idigo dynasty of Iro Kechidori family Aguleri Royal Cabinet and Indiche announced the homeward journey into eternity of His Royal Highness Eze Christopher Nwabonwanne Idigo Igwe Aguleri. Announcing the demise at the Ogalagidi Palace Aguleri, Anambra East Local Government, the Prime Minister, Chief Henry Manafa, on behalf of Aguleri Traditional Council, said that Aguleri and friends are mourning for the journey.
Mrs. Vivian Anyadubalo will serve as the secretary of the Anambra State Universal Basic Education Board, while Dr. Peter Ekemezie, Mrs. Nonya Udebunam, Mrs. Gladys Edowo, and Mrs. Grace Adichie are members. For the Post-Primary School Service Commission, Mrs. Patti Ofia is the deputy chairman, while Mrs. Ngozi Onora will serve as the executive secretary. Mr. Joe Enamore, Lady Francisca Okeke, Dr. Ngozi Abazumalo, Lady Philin Odenibo, and Dr. Blessing Eberechukwu are members. Inaugurating the boards, Governor Obiano charged them to sustain and surpass the records of the previous boards, stressing that there are various ongoing projects that have been fully paid for in the school system, urging them not to create gaps in their duties. The governor reminded them that they can be dissolved if found wanting, calling on them to ensure that no child is left out, in line with the mandate of the Ministry of Education.
I expect nothing less from yourselves. I'm sure there will be a proper handover for you to see where this starts. When you work closely with the Commissioner for Basic Education, you see the new programs we're mapping out to improve and scale up the quality of students.
The Commissioner for Basic Education, Professor Kate Omenoga, said that the boards have a fundamental role to groom the children.
We are going to give books, distribute books to them, just like you said. All the research we've done shows that we have areas that we must have to try and use the free available education means to really bring them on.
In their various remarks, the chairmen of the boards promised to help sustain and enhance education through their work. Administration of the Oath of Allegiance and Oath of Office by the State Solicitor General featured at the ceremony. The new governing board will serve for a period of 5 years. From the Government House, Oka, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
He stated that Eze Christopher Idigo Ogalagidi the Fourth of Aguleri was the custodian of the culture and tradition of the ancient kingdom of Aguleri, Otunibo. The Prime Minister disclosed that Igwe Idigo proceeded on the journey on 11th of January 2019 at the 0400R.
The Aguleri Royal Cabinet, Igwe in Council. The Indiche Aguleri and the Aguleri Community Assembly wish to formally inform you of the homeward journey into eternity of His Royal Highness Eze Christopher Nwabuwanye the fourth, Ogalagi the second, Igwe of Aguleri. He was the custodian of the culture and tradition of the ancient kingdom of Aguleri. The details of the rites heralding the event will be communicated to you in due course.
Igwe Ogalagidi had been on the throne for 24 years and aged 74. The announcement says that details of the rites heralding the event shall be communicated in due course. The chairman of Aguleri Royal Cabinet, Chief Dom Ndive, maintained that Idigo dynasty is the oldest dynasty in the east of the Niger and have performed 119 Ovala. It could be recalled that Eze Idigo performed his 2019 Ovala on 5th of January 2019. From Aguleri, Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Well, from education and the journey into eternity of late Igwe Christopher Idigo, the events of Monday shifted to the temporary High Court of Justice for Anocha Judicial Division, located at Neni, which was inaugurated by the State Chief Judge, Justice Peter Umadi. The one-story building comprises 2 courtrooms, process and court sections, offices, and about 22 staff. Appreciating the state government for its support to the state judiciary, Justice Umadi noted that Governor Willie Obiano has never interfered with the activities of the state's judiciary.
Story court building comprised of 2 courtrooms, process section, cash section, offices, and about 22 staff. Appreciating the state government for its efforts and support to the state judiciary, Justice Umadi noted that Governor Willie Obiano has never interfered with the activities of the state judiciary. He went further to state that the court is not meant for the Neni community alone, but for the entire Anyocha and also others who wish to seek justice from there, urging the judges to administer justice based on honesty, transparency, and fear of God.
Pray that all men and women who come into this court hall will receive justice according to law. This court hall to the glory of God and for the benefit of mankind.
The chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, Anyocha Branch, Chief J.N. Okongwu, lauded the judicial arm of government and pleaded with legal practitioners that are indigenous of Anyocha to come back home and practice as a conducive environment has been made available.
We have great lawyers within the judicial as practicing outside. We are proud of it. And I want to make this plea to all of them to come and support this judicial division.
Earlier in his welcome address, the President General, Neni Town Union, Chief Chukwu Dembonu, said he looks forward to the things the court will bring to Anyocha, particularly to Neni, and urged the Chief Judge to consider employing more staff to enable the court to discharge its duties effectively.
Many people are sincerely happy to welcome the entire judiciary of Anambra State, ably led by the State Chief Judge. We are indeed celebrating the opportunity of being part of that sacrifice to afford cheaper and easier accessibility to justice to all and sundry in the state, no matter the remoteness of the location or residency.
The Chief Judge will on Wednesday be on inspection tour to the permanent site to oversee the construction project. Those who witnessed the commissioning included the Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of the state, Dr. Mrs. Ujunwogu, state government functionary, members of the National Council for Women's Society, NCWS, members of the Nigerian Bar Association, Anyocha Chapter, community leaders of Neni, security agencies, amongst others. There were also song rendition by staff of the High Court, official commissioning of the Judicial Division led by Justice Umadi, and inspection of the court building.
Well, permits me to say that the commissioning of this new court complex would definitely help the judiciary in discharging their duties. Okay, away from that, it was a huge event over the weekend, during which the state government reaffirmed increased commitment to promoting security of lives and property of the state citizenry. Governor Willie Obiano stated this at St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church, Oka, during a Thanksgiving Mass in honor of the State Director of the Department of State Security, DSS, Mr. Yusuf Isiaku, emphasized that the state is already embarking on aggressive mobilization of action plans to maintain the lofty height as the most secure state in the country. The governor, while felicitating with Mr. Isiaku, pointed out that he is grateful to God that all the security chiefs working under him have gotten promotion, stressing that it lays credence to the security breakthroughs in the state. Government House correspondent Ejike Abana is our guide.
The governor, while felicitating with Mr. Isiaku, pointed out that his gratitude to God is that all the security chiefs working under him have gotten promotion, stressing that it lays credence to the security breakthroughs in the state.
Police, SSS, civil defense, immigration, all of them, they earn promotion under me. So it's because you are doing a great work, that's why you earn the promotion. You know, I did the right thing by thanking God first, you know, because it's only God that promotes. Thank you very much.
Speaking to the ABS, the senator representing Anambra Central at the National Assembly, Chief Victor Ume, noted that Anambra has consistently demonstrated ingenuity in terms of security, saying that it is part of the reason he is going to the Senate to support the governor's commitment and ingenuity in governance.
And only when people begin to participate in choosing their leaders, that they will be able to get credible leadership and representation. If you don't vote, we have nothing to complain about. So the more the people come out to vote, the better the chances of getting a credible person to be in government, either as an executive or legislative.
The member representing Anambra West at the State Assembly, Mr. Uchenna Okafor, reiterated the support of his people to the present administration, especially in peace brokerage in such communities, stressing that it is imperative to stand behind all ABGA candidates at the general elections to guarantee sustenance.
But it is this Obiano's administration that my people started having the impact of government through agricultural revolution, security, roads, electricity, water, everywhere. Appointment of commissioner. Do you know that I have now had commissioner for a very long time? More than 12 years. But Obiano gave us a commissioner. Wow. So what am I talking? We don't need any other thing. That is why all our people are applicant. And we are going to say it. And Malim is going to be the first in this coming election.
Mr. Isiaku was full of gratitude to God and to those who attended the Thanksgiving and called on God to bless everyone.
For me, I have reached the highest rank of the service, so I pray for all of you guys more promotion. So I want to thank you. Sir, I receive it on behalf of myself, my deputy, who is also promoted, and all my staff who were promoted. So those of you promoted, you can just rise.
Earlier in a homily, a visiting priest, Reverend Father Kingsley Ibe, who explained the concept of truth, said that the word of God is truth and solid foundation, calling on Christians to say the truth at all times, whether palatable or not. Thanksgiving and renditions by the choir featured at the event, attended by dignitaries including the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Solochukwu Lobelo, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Primus Odele, Works Commissioner, Engineer Marcel Ifejiofor, Oil Mogul, Prince Arthur Eze, among others across political and religious divides. From St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church, Oka, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
Well, congratulations are definitely in order for the State Director of DSS. Okay, away from that, Tuesday was a bit of politics as the people of the state have been called upon to rally around the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, in the forthcoming general elections to sustain the effective and quality representation the party offers. The State Deputy Governor, Dr. Nkem Okeke, made the call when he accompanied the senator representing Anambra Central Senatorial District at the Red Chamber to Northia, Enwagidi, and Enugu communities in Njikoka local government area on campaign rally. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo was there and gives us the tidbits.
The venues of the rally was filled to capacity with both APGA members and non-members who came to show solidarity to their representatives. Addressing the people, Deputy Governor Okeke encouraged them to repeat the demonstration of their love for the All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA in the coming elections as shown during the last governorship election in the state, assuring that APGA would not renege on its campaign promises if supported by Anambra.
Election. I went to Bola 21. Seven local governments. We had 3 local governments.
In his speech, Chief Umeku expressed joy on the massive turnout of the people at the event, advised them not to be deceived by money-bag politicians during the elections, but to vote massively for APGA to sustain equitable distribution of democracy dividends in the areas and the state at large. On his part, the member representing Njikoka 2 at the State House of Assembly, Honorable P.T. Bida, while appreciating the people for the support accorded him during the first term, promised not to let them down, but to attract more dividends of democracy to the areas if re-elected.
House of Assembly
In their remarks, the President General of the Communities, Sir Ikem Onwade of Abagana, and his name counterpart, Chief Tony Ibuka, announced the community's total support for all APGA candidates in the areas, as according to them, Senator Ume and other lawmakers have proven their mettle in the areas as their good works speak for them. From Nimo community in Njikoka local government area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
While the polity is definitely getting heated up, who is going to be the chosen one come February 16 and March 2nd? Well, we are keeping our fingers crossed. Okay, Wednesday was busy and eventful, beginning with an assurance from the state government to the people of Mmiata and Nzam communities in Anambra West local government area that a bridge at the Mmiata-Nzam road will be completed within 2 months. Governor Willie Obiano gave the assurance when he visited the project site. And away from that, still on Wednesday, some members of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, who felt aggrieved over the outcome of the primary elections of the party, paid an apology visit to the national chairman of the party, Chief Victor Oye, at his Amobia residence. The aggrieved members who came under the umbrella of Justified APGA Aspirants Forum stated that they have accepted in good faith the outcome of the party's primary elections and are ready to join hands with Chief Oye-led APGA to pursue victory for all the party candidates. Also, in midweek, a civil society group known as Vote, Not Fight Anambra State Branch took their campaigns to the streets of Oka and environs in sensitizing the youth and critical stakeholders in the states ahead of the general elections on the need to shun violence before, during, and after the election. The group, which took off from the Awka South local government area to the state police headquarters, Amobia, through Zix Avenue to Ekoka to Aroma Junction, terminated at INEC headquarters, Awka.
Governor. His administration is determined to connect Nzam to Olumbanasa, whose people go to Delta State to sell their produce due to lack of access road. The governor said that the road has been raised significantly to ensure that vehicles ply the road even during flood, calling on the people of the area to support ABGA candidates in the forthcoming elections to sustain the tempo of development in the state.
The flow of this water, and he said he can use water turbine to generate electricity for the whole of the community around here. I would like this water to supply Aguleri and this water can supply Anambra East as a whole electricity.
The governor, accompanied by his wife, Dr. Mrs. Ebelechukwu, also inspected the level of work at the 11.7-kilometer access road and 100 meters bridge from Umeje Oil Well, Aguleri Otu, where he stressed that he has mobilized the contractor, saying that when completed, the road will facilitate access to the agrarian communities in the area instead of going through Enugu State. The Commissioner for Works, Mr. Marcel Ifejiofo, said that the contractor has adhered strictly to specifications, expressing optimism that they will deliver in a record time.
This bridge is historical and monumental. Since the creation of life, this is the first time people can drive from Ayamelme in Anambra State to Anambra East without passing through Enugu State.
Speaking on behalf of the firm handling the project, Mr. Johnny Nelson explained that they have concluded earthwork but presently focusing on the bridge, which he assured will be completed in 2 months' time. While the contractor handling the Umeje oil head, Mr. Chami Extrada, assured that by Easter period, the bridge will have been completed. From Aguleri to in Anambra West Council area, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
Said the visit was aimed at reassuring the national chairman of their loyalty to the party and commitment to ensuring victory for ABGA candidates in the general elections. They, however, expressed their desire to work closely with the national chairman as a bridge to reach out to other aggrieved members of the party to forge a stronger ABGA.
Our visit today is to reassure you of our loyalty to the party and our commitment to ensuring victory for ABGA candidates in all levels in the 16th February National Assembly elections and 2nd March state elections.
Responding, Chief Oye, who accepted their apology, described it as one that flows from the heart. He explained that one of his missions in ABGA is to grow it as a platform that will give Ndibo the long-desired voice. Chief Oye, who noted that they are working vigorously to heal the wound and reconcile genuinely aggrieved persons, restated their determination to drive the spirit of ABGA beyond the present 35 branches it has across the world.
In every contest, some people will lose, some people will win. Advice to every political aspirant is always to look at the two sides of it. If you are going for any election and you are about 10 or 15 in number, bear in mind that one person will win, the rest will lose. Place yourself on the side of the losers so that if victory comes eventually, thank God.
Also speaking, the Transition Committee Chairman, Awka South Local Government Area, Mr. Leonwoba, who commended them for the bold step they took to say that they were sorry, described Governor Obiano and Chief Oye as people sent by God to salvage the image of the party. From Amobia in Awka South Local Government Area, I am Ebele Eze reporting for ABS News.
The general public and key stakeholders in the electoral process that election is not a do-or-die affair. Enumerating the resolve of the state youths ahead of the general elections, the state coordinator, Votes Not Fight, Mr. Chukwura Chukwuma, revealed that the work is a way of partnering stakeholders in the electoral process to ensure peace before, during, and after election, urging INEC and security agencies to continue to do more for the success of the elections.
We are preaching peace. It's all about peace. We don't want a society that's full of chaos because of the election. We want young people to conduct themselves peacefully before, during, and after election. We've seen a lot of blood in the past. We've seen a lot of mayhem in the past. We don't want all that again. We are the people suffering. We are the ones suffering. We are the ones going through the pain. We want Nigerians to know that their life is very important. You don't need to trade your life because of someone else's ambition. Just go out and vote. If you have your PVC, if you don't have your PVC, stay home. Stay home, please. Don't argue, don't fight, don't defend anybody. It's about your life you are preaching.
Responding, the State Resident Electoral Commissioner of INEC, Dr. Nkwachukwu, represented by the Head of Department, Voter Education and Publicity, Mr. Leo Ikedife, expressed delight over the move by various youth groups in the state, saying that it will go a long way in convincing the people to shun violence during the election.
I'm very happy to see you. We can see that we are already at work, mobilizing and sensitizing the people to come out en masse and participate in the election process. So this, I say a very big thank you to all of you. You are doing our work. We must have to commend you for a very good work. Let me equally assure you that INEC is ready for February 16th. Yes, wow. 2nd March 2019.
Yes, in their various remarks, the director showed up for gender support and development initiative, Mrs. Chioma Okeke, and the state coordinator, not too young to run, Mr. Nonso Orakwe, acknowledged that the work has been impactful as the youth are the best instrument for sensitizing one another on election malpractices and reminded them that election is not war and as such, all should participate and ensure cordiality at all times.
The essence of this work is to use the youth to sensitize the youth that vote is not fight and that election is not war, because youths are always the instruments for violence and they are also the victims. So that's the essence of this match.
The essence of this rally is to enlighten the public on the need to have peaceful elections during and after elections. Over years, we have recorded some of the election violence across the country, and therefore the Vote Not 5 group, the partnership with Not Young to Run and other societies, organizations, come together to place this campaign to the public that election will be won.
In Oka, Chibuzo Obidiki, ABS News.
Yeah, welcome back. This is still Week in Review right here on ABS Television. And just like the last story, vote, not fight should be the message for everyone when you go out to exercise your franchise come February 16 and March 2nd this year. Okay, the curtain for Wednesday was drawn with the posting of a new commissioner of police to Anambra State. CP Daundaura Mustafa took over from CP Garba Umar. In a statement, the outgoing CP Umar thanks people of the state and all stakeholders for the cooperation and support given to him throughout his stay in the state and implored them to extend the same to the new commissioner. Thursday offered a mix of hard news and casual events. We begin with Governor Willie Obiano saying he will continue to support the plans and programs of his wife's NGO, Caring Family Enhancement Initiative, CAFE. Governor Obiano stated this at Professor Dora Akonyili Women Development Center, Oka, during his inspection of the ongoing prosthetic leg and arms measurements and fixing exercise in company of his wife, Dr. Ebele Chukwu Obiano. Ejikabana puts us through this report.
Initiative is powered by the Caring Family Enhancement Initiative, a pet project of the wife of the governor, which has given out over 1,000 prosthetic limbs since inception. On arrival, ABS observed that measurements were being taken while fixing of the artificial limbs were ongoing as well. Governor Obiano promised to continue to support his wife to improve and carry out the intervention, which he said has touched many lives, saying that he was informed that over 125 arms and legs have been fixed in this edition.
My wife has been doing for some of you. I'm very happy that the 85 people came and they got prosthetic arm or limb, as the case may be. We will continue to do this because I can see it's giving a lot of people new leads of life.
In a comment, the wife of the governor, Dr. Mrs. Obiano, while saying that 82 more measurements have been taken in the edition, appreciated the governor for all the support he has given her to do more through her NGO and expressed optimism that the artificial limbs will improve the participants' self-confidence.
Your Excellency, I thank you for coming to see what we do here. And by the special grace of God, we have given over 1,000 people limbs. To be precise, 1,300. And they've just measured some more. About 80 people will be measured tomorrow. Yes. So by the time they produce those ones and fix, we'll be talking about close to 1,400.
The beneficiaries were full of excitement as they sang to the governor and the wife's pleasure.
Ohaneze Ndibo Lagos branch threw his weight behind Governor Willie Obiano's position and appreciating President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration's gestures to the people of the Southeast region and Anambra State in particular. This group made this known when they paid a solidarity visit to the governor at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. The Igbo group, led by its president, Sir Nnamdi Nwigwe, said that the decision was based on visible, completed, and ongoing projects in Anambra by the president's regime. Also, on Thursday, a new chief magistrate court was commissioned in Achina, Agwata local government area. The court was commissioned by the state's chief judge, Justice Peter Umadi.
The Igbo group, led by its president, Sir Nnamdi Nwigwe, said that their decision was based on visible, completed, and ongoing projects in Anambra by the president's administration. Sir Nwigwe said that their visit to the governor was to show solidarity and not to join issues with anybody, pointing out that the completed Zix Mausoleum, which is a national monument, the ongoing second bridge across the Niger, road projects, and other infrastructural development projects lay credence to the fact that the Buhari-led leadership has not forgotten the region. He continued by appreciating Governor Obiano's negotiating power and think home philosophy, among other notable initiatives, urging him to continue and avoid distractions.
It takes a great politician to understand that what makes politics work is negotiating power. If not because of your negotiating power, APGA is just in one state. And yet, that very single state, I'm not trying to make it look big, that very single state can be seen or attest to be the very best.
Receiving the group, Governor Obiano stressed that Ohaneze is one united group and that he is desirous that it continues to be so, adding that he is in good terms with its President General, but that the group's decision to fix a meeting on a day the president came to Anambra State to commission a mausoleum in honor of the late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, who is a world hero of Igbo extraction, is unacceptable, while reaffirming his support for the APGA presidential candidate and all candidates on APGA platform. Governor Obiano called on Ohaneze to remain a socio-cultural group, non-partisan, pushing the Igbo agenda, and reiterated that he is also in support of restructuring, expressing hope that the nation will set aside November 16th as a national day for Zix Memorial. Governor Obiano further hinted that an additional Igbo state is in the offing under Buhari's regime and expressed optimism that APGA will win more states in the coming general elections in the country.
Let Ohaneze be, that's where I stand. A socio-cultural body, uniting the Igbos, pushing the Igbo cause. That was the platform under which I held the restructuring, because I also believe in that. And I also made some points to this administration what they should change differently. I'm aware that somehow this president would like to create the sixth state in the Southeast. I'm aware somehow.
The Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adenoba, said Governor Obiano has always been a strong supporter and champion of laudable Igbo initiatives, programs, and causes, including the recent Igbo Summit and its attendant Ekweme Declaration, Ozemezna ceremony in honor of Igbo fallen heroes, among others.
In May last year, Ohaneze was desperate to have a summit on political restructuring of Nigeria. No governor wanted to host this. Each of them was afraid. Only one governor said he was prepared to swallow the bullet to articulate, espouse, and defend Igbo interests. That governor who accepted is here in our midst.
Also present during the visit were the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Primus Odele, the Special Advisor to the Governor, Political, Chief Ifatu Obiokoye, among others. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
The Anibife 8th grade Achina took up the building of the Chief Magistrate Court as its outing project and contributions to community development in line with tradition of the community. The features of the court, which has facilities for physically challenged persons, include the main courtroom with additional 6 rooms, convenience and water tank to supply water to the court, among others. Speaking during the occasion, the State Chief Judge, Justice Umadi, thanked the Achina people for building the edifice and disclosed that the court, which has 21 staff, will serve 5 towns of Achina, Umuchu, Oga, Akpo, and Amesi.
Ebe ọbụla gọọmenti na-abịa n'ụdị ọbụla n'ọmmepe ka a na-eweta n'ọganihu ka a na-eweta ọya ka anyị ji wee bịa Achịna sị ka anyị meghe magistrate court na Achịna. Ị na-anya efu na magistrate court anyị na-emeghe na Achịna na ọ nọ n'okpuru Agwata local government area.
In his welcome address, the President General of Achina Town Union, Barrister Chito Ezani, explained that one of the reasons for building the court was to bring justice nearer to their people and assured that they will continue to cooperate with state judiciary for the court to function effectively and efficiently.
The reason for our gathering here is well known to all of us. It is a journey that started a long time ago when we conceived the idea of bringing justice nearer to the doorsteps of our people. One of the challenges that confronted that idea was putting in place a course.
Speaking with the ABS, the traditional ruler of the town, Igwe G.N. Obiora, explained that the siting of the Chief Magistrate Court in Achina will bring progress and peace and urged the people to continue to live in unity. In his remark, the chairman, Anibife 8th grade, Mr. Azubike Eze, said they embarked on the court project to attract government's presence to Achina.
Today, I'm going to many things. Offices got back where Babur and a large area. The spaces got for Hindaga. I know why it's in that Nobro only Kaipota as 8th grade. That night or airpota. Mepe ya make Achina Ganiru.
Also speaking, a stakeholder in Achina, Chief Joseph Mwakbadolu, mentioned the numerous benefits the people of the town and environ would derive from the court and commended the Anibife 8th grade for following the age-long tradition of the town. The ceremony, which attracted Achina's sons and daughters, the religious, traditional rulers, and some state judiciary staff, featured display of cultural dances and masquerade. From Achina, Agwata Council area, Queen Anibogu, ABS News.
Well, it was jubilation and celebration galore for the All Progressive Grand Alliance, ABGA, and its senatorial candidate for Anambra South Senatorial District in the coming February 16th general elections. Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu, who won his appeal filed against the earlier verdict of an Abuja High Court, which had invalidated the party's senatorial primary conducted last October. The appeal court affirmed him the party's senatorial candidate for Anambra South, coming on a date he rounded off thirds of the 119 electoral wards within the senatorial district. It ruled that the Apo High Court lacked the territorial jurisdiction to entertain the matter and that it was also filed out of time. Okachukwu had a landslide win of the Abga primary election for the Anambra South Senatorial District, which was held at the Ekulobia Township Stadium with 211 votes. On the national scene, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in a bid to ensure that all eligible voters participate in the forthcoming elections, extended the deadline for the collection of the Permanent Voters Cards, PVC, by 3 days. The collection of the PVCs was scheduled to end on Friday, February 8th, but the agency extended it to Monday, February 11th. The chairman of INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, said the decision was as a result of complaints received by the agency. He spoke at the opening of a meeting with resident electoral commissioners, REC, in Abuja on Friday. Mr. Yakubu said the extension of the deadline is to ensure that no eligible Nigerian is disenfranchised because of their inability to collect their PVCs. He said officials will work on Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. during the exercise.
The last couple of days, we have been inundated by calls from Nigerians to review the current process of collection of the permanent voters' card. In response, the Commission has taken the following decisions. Number one, the collection of PVCs scheduled to end today, Friday, 8 February 2019, is hereby extended nationwide to Monday, 11th February 2019. This will include Saturday and Sunday. 2, the collection of PVCs will not take place from 9 in the morning to 6 p.m. daily. 3, all state offices are hereby directed to review the procedure for the collection of PVCs and dedicate all the staff of the local government offices to the collection process. Staff are enjoined to be civil in attending to citizens and to escalate issues that they cannot immediately resolve to their superiors. The Commission wishes to reassure Nigerians that we will continue to take every step to ensure that no registered voter is disenfranchised on account of the non-collection of PVCs. Similarly, the Commission is taking urgent steps to address complaints of unavailability of PVCs of some registered voters before the end of the deadline for collection.
Well, students and lecturers can finally breathe a sigh of relief because on Thursday night, the Academic Staff Union of Universities suspended its 3-month strike, following an agreement is reached with the federal government. The strike was called off after a 2-hour meeting with the Minister of Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige. Ngige said after the meeting that 8 areas of disagreement were discussed and agreed upon by the 2 parties, while expressing gratitude to ASU leadership for their understanding. ASU President Professor Biodun Ogunyemi said lecturers are to resume on Friday, February 8, 2019.
Following a careful review of the report of engagements with the federal government on proposals for addressing all outstanding issues in the 2013 MOU and 2017 MOA, NEC resolved that the current strike action by the union should be suspended conditionally with effect from 12:01 a.m. on Friday, 8 February 2019. However, should government fail to fulfill its part of the agreement as reflected in the 2019 Memorandum of Action, ASU will resume its suspended strike action as the union deems necessary. While we put a closure to this phase of the struggle, it is our hope and desire that the Nigerian government, federal and state, will play the roles expected of them in order to make the new memorandum work. We shall never abandon our obligation to ensure the survival of a sound university system. For us to, therefore, the struggle certainly continues.
Every day, the media is abuzz with stories of rape and sexual violence, not only in Nigeria, but also in other countries. This is why Sierra Leone President Julius Maada Bio on Friday declared the prevalence of rape and sexual violence in the country as a national emergency. The move followed a national outcry over the rape of a 5-year-old by her relative a year ago. Police say the number of recorded cases of sexual and gender-based violence in Sierra Leone almost doubled last year to more than 8,500 from 4,750. The president said those convicted of sexual offenses against minors would face severe punishment, including sentence to prison.
Hundreds of cases of rape and sexual assaults are being reported in this country. These despicable crimes of sexual violence are being committed against our own women, children, and even babies. Some of the fatalities are as young as 3 months old. 70% of the survivors of this traumatic experience are under the age 15. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I therefore declare rape and sexual violence as national emergency. With this declaration, I've also directed the following: that all government hospitals must provide free medical treatment and certificates to every rape victim and sexual abuse. Sexual penetration of minors is punishable by life imprisonment.
While rape and sexual violence, apart from being a national emergency, is definitely a violation of the fundamental human rights of persons and should not be entertained in whatever form or in any country. And with that story, we draw the curtain on this week's edition of the program. Join us again, same time, same station, next week. This is The Week in Review. I've been your host, Priska Wankwo. Many thanks for watching. Good evening.